And good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday. I can't remember what the date is, the 25th or something, is it? I'm here with Michelle, and we are doing our first live healing session on this Facebook page. I think it's my first live healing session that I've ever done in this way. I've done many live healing sessions all over the world, group sessions and so on and so forth. So let me first talk to you a little tiny bit about healing, and then I'm going to see if I can educate you a little bit on how we need to be for our healing sessions, what we need to do for our healing sessions. And I'm going to ask all of you who would like to follow me, to do what I suggest you do, and I'm going to be sending all of you some healing. That all of you includes all of those who are already on our healing list. We have a lot of people, far more people on our healing list than we could possibly mention. I know that we've had a lot of emails today from people who have said, will you please mention me? We are going to mention some people today prior to the healing session starting, but please understand that even if your name is not mentioned, just asking us for healing, just sending an email to me and asking for healing means basically that we put you on our list and we send you healing every day. So it's not just this moment in time. It's not just in the next hour that I should be sending healing. Myself, my spirit guide Grey Eagle, who is always by my side, and of course my team, and there are also lots of people all over the world. We call our sessions our Hands Around the World healing sessions, because we basically visualize all of us holding hands and sending healing, receiving healing, all of that stuff that we do. So first of all, let's just mention very briefly, what is healing? Now, lots of people have different ideas of what healing is, and lots of people have different ideas of how to give healing. There are so many different methods that we can use, and there are so many methods. I'm sure that many of you out there who tune in or who will listen to this recording afterwards, there are so many of you who have either yourselves been healers, are healers, or have received healing, and every healer does this in a different way. Every healer does it in his or her own way, by feel, by intuition, by connecting with, whether it's that universal God force that is out there, or whether it is simply that universal force, that energy that is out there in the universe. You don't have to believe in God to receive healing. I've had lots and lots of patients over the years who said to me, well, I don't believe in God, so it's not going to work, is it? And my reply is always, I have enough faith for all of us. So it doesn't matter if you believe, it only matters that I believe, and that when I visualize, I'm going to show you how to do that in a few minutes, when I visualize and when I create energy within myself, and then when I send it out to you, it will reach you. Energy is this weird thing. You put it out into the universe and it sort of, goes along, positive energy, healing energy goes along, and as it goes along, it's a little bit like, the snowball or the rolling stone that gathers moss. As it goes along, it gathers like energy to it. So the more positive we have our energy putting out there into the universe, the more it gathers, the more it grows. But as with all energy, my energy is going out there, going out into the universe, reaching out to all of those people, all of you who would like to experience some of my healing energy. It goes out as far as it can go, as far as it can reach, but at some point it has to return to me, because it is my energy after all. But as it returns again, it's gathering, and it's growing and growing. So when I send it out, it's important that it's positive, that it's healing, because when it comes right back to me, like that boomerang that comes back to me, I want that energy to be as powerful and as good and as positive as it can be. When you give healing, when you send healing to other people, it is very true that the healer, I think, this is my personal experience, gets more healing because, as I've said, that rolling stone that gathers all of that good energy that goes out there, and when it comes back to me, wow, you know, that's a powerful positive energy that I've got there, because it's gathered all of that positive energy as it's gone along. So healing is a little bit of a selfish act in so many ways, because I think as a healer, and I've been a healer for 40 something years. I know I don't look old enough. You don't need to say that to me. I know that. But I've been doing this for so long, and I can honestly, truthfully tell you that healing is a bit of a selfish act in a way, and I encourage my students and I encourage all of my healers to be a little bit selfish. So I'm telling all of you, there's nothing wrong with being selfish as long as you don't harm or hurt anybody else in that process. There's nothing wrong with giving healing to yourself first, because if you can give healing to yourself and you build all of that good energy, then you've got so much more to give to other people. You're not going to tire so easily. You're not going to be so exhausted so easily. You're not going to, you're not going to be drained. I know a lot of healers who have become very ill over the period of time, over the years that they give healing, because they drain themselves. And what I try to do with all of my students, I try to encourage you to give healing to yourself first, because then you are more able and more capable and more positive and more energized to give healing to all of your patients. So it's very important. Don't be afraid to be a little bit selfish with yourself. All right, so what kind of healing are we going to do? The kind of healing that I personally do, and I can only talk about that. So any questions that you may have of any other type of healing, I'm not going to answer them, because I don't feel that I'm qualified to answer other methods of healing. But the type of energy that the type of healing and the type of energy that I personally use, I connect with that God force. I connect with that higher power. I connect with that universal God force, or that universal God energy. And when I say I connect to it, basically I send out my prayer and I draw to me all of that goodness and all of that light and all of that beauty which I think is out there, that universal God force, that universal energy that is out there that we can all use. And so what I do is, and I'm going to show you in a few minutes, and hopefully going to do it with me, what I try to do is to fill myself with that energy, to absorb that energy into me first, and then I combine my own energy. Again, I'll show you in a few minutes how we do it. I'm going to talk you through this, so don't worry, don't think, oh, I don't know what to do and how to do it, and don't worry about that, because I'm going to talk you through it nicely and easily. And so what I do is I connect with my God. I use my faith, my belief. I have a very, very powerful and a very deep faith and a very deep belief. You don't have to believe in God. You don't have to believe in God to send healing, to be a healer. You don't have to believe in God to receive healing. But I'm just telling you, this is my way. This is how I do it. So, all right. So, and then we use what I again call a laying on of hands. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if I came right into your home and I stood behind you and I was able to put my hands on your shoulders like this, and I was able to just give my energy to you through my hands to you. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if that could be possible on a physical level? I could knock on your door, enter your home, and there we go, and off we go with it. And I know a lot of people would love that, and I know a lot of people think that it is absolutely necessary that you need that physical contact. I personally, and again, I've been doing this for over 40 years, I personally think that the power of the mind and the power of the energy that we send out, and the power of the universe, and the power that enables the universe to absorb and to combine energies, and then to send out that energy to wherever it needs to go, is the equivalent to me standing behind you in your living room and placing my hands on your shoulders and giving you healing. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to be in your living room. I'm going to be placing my hands on your shoulders, and I'm going to be sending you healing. Isn't this weird? Don't you think this is weird? 40 years ago when we talked about this stuff, it was really weird. A lot of people understood it, but very few people were able to talk about it or able to be honest about it publicly. But now everybody understands that. We have so many TV shows, we have so many people doing this, so it's perfectly normal and a perfectly common practice. And again, I'm going to talk you through it in a few minutes. Now, we do have a few people we'd like to mention. Please do not feel that we are neglecting you if we haven't mentioned you, all right? Because as I've said, everyone who applies to us for healing, everybody who asks for healing from me personally, we put on our healing book, and I have people who sort of deal with the book. My friend Chris, who's going to be on the show at some point with us. She's pardon?
She's on right now.
Oh, Chris is on too. So we have a team of people out there, my team, who I've trained, who are going to be sending healing as I show you how this works, and as I show you and as I send out my healing, which I'm going to be doing quite soon now. As we do that, and I'm going to be showing you how to do it, how to breathe, how to think, how to create that energy within your own mind. The power of the mind is the most positive and powerful thing that we have. Every tiny thought is a little tiny pulse of energy that goes out there into the universe. And when we send healing, it's not just tiny thoughts that we're sending out. We're sending out tiny, powerful points of energy, powerful thoughts of energy that go out there into the universe, and hopefully will hit each one of you. If you know how to breathe, and you know how to receive, and you know how to absorb, which I'm going to show you how to do. But we are going to, first of all, as I've said, I've got Michelle here, and Michelle is going to be, we've got so many people, and I can see on my screen. Unfortunately, I can't see what it says because I'm not wearing my glasses. And even if I was wearing my glasses, I'd be peering like this, and that wouldn't be good. So we've got Michelle who's going to try to field any questions that you have. And there will be time for questions. There will be time for all of that stuff, I promise you, when we've done our healing. Our healing session will take between 5 to 10 minutes maximum. But let me just say, first of all, it is very true that you can send somebody healing and it can take a nanosecond and it still works. You can think of someone, you can send out healing to that person, you can send out your prayers, your energy, because that's really all it is. And that will help tremendously. When you have a community, when you have lots of people sending lots of prayers, and especially if we do it all at the same time, then those prayers become more powerful, more positive, because the energy is sort of really concentrated. And this is why every morning at 11 a.m., wherever in the world you are, at 11 a.m. your time, we have what we call a healing minute, Hands Around the World Healing Minute. And we have people all over the world who join in, who hold hands. And for literally 1 minute, that's 60 seconds, I ask people just to, if you have your own healing list, if you have a list of people that you would like to send healing to, if it's you particularly who wants healing, all you have to do is spend that 1 minute sending a prayer, whether it's to ask God to help you. You join hands with me, you think of me, you think of Hands Around the World, you think of our team, and you spend that 1 minute. Remember, I just said there's nothing wrong with being selfish, is there? Absolutely not, as long as you don't walk all over everybody else doing it. So, Michelle, can you just mention, I know because we've had a few people email us this morning, and please, if you want to be on our healing list, you need to email us rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com. In the subject line, if you could put healing, that would be very helpful, because then Michelle knows exactly where to put it and what to do with it when she's got it. So can you just mention the people who, first of all, forget the questions that are going on here, forget the comments that are going on right now. If you can just mention the people who emailed us in the last 2 or 3 days that we're going to mention this morning, Michelle, on your list?
Valeria.
So Valeria,
She's got some heart issues.
So Valeria has heart issues. So absolutely, we're going to be sending healing to you, my darling. And if you're watching, you have to do exactly as I tell you when I start to give my instruction, if you can, as much as you can anyway, as best as you can, if you can do what I tell you and join with me and connect with me. Who else do we have, Michelle?
We have Wendy and her fur baby.
And Pippin?
Pippin.
Is it Pippin? And Pippin is a beautiful little puppy. He's nearing his end. I know that he doesn't have very much longer, and so we're going to be sending healing to Pippin. Now this may sound strange to some of you, but yes, we can help with the process of dying, and I have often done that and asked God, please, can we give this person an easier transition? Is there any way that we can help with this leaving this earth, to ensure that somebody has an easier transition than they may have without healing? Who else do we have?
We have Benny and Albertine.
Benny and Albertine, definitely, because I think you're on our list, aren't you, Albertine? And we've been sending healing every day to your daddy, so that's that. And who else do we have?
And the last one we have is Julia.
And Julia wants
just healing.
Just healing. All right then. We don't really, as you can see, we don't need your last name. We don't necessarily need your details. Sometimes it's helpful if we do know, for what reason you want healing, but it's not necessary. I sort of like to know simply because I use visualization and visualization techniques when I'm giving my healing, when I'm sending healing out. So if someone has a tumor, I will send out healing. I will send out that particular prayer, and then for those particular certain people, I will visualize a tumor, and you can visualize the tumor surrounded by different colors, different types of energy. You can visualize the tumor reducing. A lot of healers find it very helpful to use visualization techniques, and I know that we're going to be, sort of in the not too distant future, we're going to have some conferences, online conferences, which people can join and people can connect, and I can show you, more about visualization techniques and how to do that, and more techniques, sort of individual techniques that you can use as a healer, because I know that a lot of people would like to give healing to themselves and to others, but are a little bit unsure as to quite how to go about it. So, all right, so this is this moment. So we're going to, what I'd like you to do, if possible, now just remember, before we sort of settle down to this, you can do this in your car. You can do this in the shopping mall. The best healing I ever gave was in Hong Kong, in a crazy area where there was traffic everywhere, noises, horns honking, so on and so forth. But it was the best healing, one of the best healing sessions I've ever given. So you don't necessarily have to be in a peaceful place. However, a lot of people do find it helpful. So if if you're one of those people, find a comfortable place to sit. If it's in a car seat, it's okay. If it's a seat in a changing room in a store, that's okay. As long as you are comfortable, sitting sort of as straight as you can. I know it's difficult for some of you, but sitting as straight and as comfortable as you possibly can. Knees together if you can again, and feet also, if you can, firmly on the floor. I want you to be nicely grounded. I'd like you to be straight backed if you can, because we're going to use this area in the middle here, our solar plexus, one of the main chakra points, one of the main energy points. All right, so we're going to be using that. Our chakra points bring energy into us, they give energy out, they bring it in. It's like a vortex. So if you can imagine that vortex, breathing in through your solar plexus, breathing out through your solar plexus. Like a vortex, it's pulling energy into you, it's giving energy out, it's pulling it in, and so on. So I'm going to be using my solar plexus now. So we're going to begin, but because I know a lot of you unsure, as we're doing the healing session, I'm going to be softly, gently talking you through it, making suggestions. You don't have to follow those suggestions. If you just want to just close your eyes and breathe in and relax into it, that is also fine. So healing is first and foremost a healing of the spirit, a healing of the soul. We don't look at the person physically, first of all, because spiritual healing is what I'm about. We're going to try, first of all, to give healing to the soul, to give healing so that we can create an inner calm and an inner peace. So I'm going to be talking you through that as well. So let's sit in this comfortable chair and as Listen with Mother used to say on TV when I was a little girl, are you sitting comfortably? And we will begin. Sitting straight, breathing in. Hands, palms upwards, please. I'll explain it later for you. Hands, palms upwards on your lap. If you have a physical disability and you're finding all of my suggestions difficult, don't worry. You can lay on a bed and do it if you'd like to. It doesn't matter. But sitting and nice and straight, being able to breathe, allowing the energy to flow through you. I'd like you to place your hands, palms upwards on your laps, please. I'd like you to close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to be gently talking you through this. So close your eyes. We're going to say a prayer. I always say a prayer. You don't have to join in. You just relax. You just absorb this. You just take it in. So, dear God, please allow me to be a part of the healing process. Allow me to participate. Allow me to connect my energy, to join my energy with that God force, with that universal God force that is out there, dear God. Please allow me to participate with you and to send out healing as much as I can to all of those who need it. So now closing your eyes, your hands, palms upwards, and breathing nicely, breathing gently. Just allow yourself to relax. If it helps, remembering that the universal healing color is the color blue, breathe it in. If you can visualize a blue blanket wrapped around your shoulders, or a blue blanket laid across your lap, or if you can visualize lying under a blue sky, beautiful blue sky with the sun shining down, just visualizing that blue in whatever way you can. Don't worry if you can't do that, just relaxing, breathing gently, breathing deeply. And now I'm sending out my energy into the universe. I'm sending out my energy to join with that God force, to connect with all of you who need that energy, to connect with everyone who is on my healing list. I ask God, please, dear God, allow my energy to be absorbed. Use me as a channel. Let me be part of that healing energy, that creative, beautiful, swirling energy that can bring peace and can bring harmony, first of all, to the soul. Let us try to bring healing, calm, and healing energy first to the soul, to the inner self. Breathing, remember breathing, closing your eyes, softly, gently. Allow the energy to flow around you. Allow the energy to flow within you, softly and gently. Breathing in. As you breathe in, try if you can to think about breathing in my energy, that beautiful healing energy that surrounds you, that is flowing towards you, that is flowing within you. Breathing gently, breathing softly, breathing slowly, and relax. Simply relax, absorb, breathing in again. Let my energy flow through you. Let my energy flow towards you. Breathing in again and slowly slowly relaxing, absorbing this beautiful energy. Don't think, don't feel, just let it be, let it flow. Let my blue energy, I'm sending out now, blue energy, blue, beautiful healing energy. Blue is the universal healing color. Breathing in, visualizing that blue mist swirling around you, visualizing that blue energy being absorbed into you. Breathe in and let it flow through you. Allow your body to fill as much as it can possibly be filled. Breathing in with that beautiful blue energy, that beautiful blue healing energy, that God energy. We are so grateful that God gives us this ability. We are so grateful that we have this energy that we can use. We are so grateful to be here, to be a part of this process, to be a part of this healing process. We are so grateful to be able to give, and we are so grateful to receive. And breathing in and relaxing. Let it flow. Let it flow. Absorb it into your palms. Absorb it into your palm centers, even as I am raising my palms and allowing my energy to emanate out towards you all. My powerful, my beautiful healing energy, combined with that God force, that God energy. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, and allow this beautiful healing energy to flow and to flow and to flow through you. Eyes closed, palms upwards in a receiving position. Don't try to make it work. Don't force it. For this moment in time, trust that this is happening. Trust that I am sending this healing to you. For this moment in time, do not try to control it. Just breathe it in. Allow it to flow. Allow it to flow. Breathing in. Let it flow around you. And very slowly, taking a deep breath. Whenever you feel ready, open your eyes. Slowly start to move a little bit, to shift a little bit, to wriggle your body a little bit. Keep breathing in. Don't jump up. Don't make any sudden movements. Just open your eyes. And there you are. And there we have it. Now, wasn't that the easiest thing to do? Now, if you'd like to, you can watch this video again and again and again. You can watch it as many times in the day as you like. And you can just do what I suggested. Taking your time, not trying to control it, not trying to force it. Remember that God force, that God energy is what it's all about, and that's what controls it. My energy, my healing energy, I've been a healer for many years, never wanted to be a healer, hated the idea of being a healer, hate hospitals and hate sick people, hate being around sick people. You know that I don't mean that I really hate sick people, but you know what I'm saying, because I myself as a young woman was extremely ill for many years. I had a lot going on. I know I don't look it, I look like a healthy person now, but I had a lot going on, and the idea of going into a hospital or dealing with people who were sick was really quite an appalling idea to me. And it's only Grey Eagle who said to me, no, this is what we're going to do now. And so, being a good student, I argued a bit and I huffed and puffed a bit, and finally I gave in and started eventually my own healing centre, which turned into 2 and 3 and 4 healing centres in the UK. And then I came over to the States and did the same thing here. So, all right, so our healing session per se is over, but as we all know, part of a healing session and part of giving healing is to listen. And it's very important that we listen to people. It's very important that we listen to what people have to say to us, because it's all part and parcel of the healing process. With all of my healing centres, whether in the UK or whether here, we always, after the healing session was over, we would have, coffee or tea or something, whatever, and we'd sit in a circle and every patient would stay. We'd always think, we're not going to have too many people stay tonight, and everybody would stay. And that was the time when our patients could ask questions. They could ask, if they had a curiosity, or if they, wondered what they could do, or if they wondered about their own health. That was the time when we listened to them. So part of being a healer is listening. So now I know that we've got quite a few comments. I can see things going on the screen again and again. So Michelle, do we have any comments from anyone, or do we have any concerns, or did anybody, I'd love to know if anybody felt anything. Now, let me just say this before we go any further. I've given healing to people who haven't felt a thing, and I've given healing to people who've been knocked over, bowled over by the energy that came their way. You don't have to feel it. You don't even have to know it. I send healing to people who don't even know I'm sending healing to them. You don't have to necessarily know it. Healing works often despite us, but it does work. And without it, people say to me, well, how come you've got a bad back then, and how come you have problems with your knees? And I look at them and I say, if I hadn't had healing all these years, I probably would be in a wheelchair now, or actually maybe even not here at all. So healing does work. And again, you don't have to believe in it for it to work. But of course, if you do believe in it, or if you want to believe in it, then of course it's helpful, because that way you can create your own energy, which you can combine with mine, which you can combine with that God force that is out there. So Michelle, over to you. Okay. Questions, comments, whatever is going on.
Well, Wendy is on, and she said, I'm here with Pippin and he's dying. Let his angel take him in peace.
Okay. Well, Wendy, as we were giving the healing, I'm hoping that you had him right next to you. I'm hoping that when you receive healing, of course, he absorbs all of that healing energy, and he would absorb it. We mentioned him, so we're sending him healing. But if you'd like to put your hands on him as you're giving healing, that can also be helpful, because it's reassuring to him. But do remember, please, and all of you out there, especially with your, I call them puppies, but you know what I mean, especially with your dogs, when you put your hands on a dog, they immediately become excited. So just remember that your energy needs to be calming and soothing. So work on having a calming and a relaxing energy, so that your dog, immediately responsive to your touch, will absorb that energy that you have. So we're praying for him, my darling. He's on our list. Yep.
Terry said, thank you, that was great. Wendy said, buzzed like crazy.
Good. I know what she means. She felt the energy. She was buzzing like crazy, so that's good.
Sharon has asked that we include her son on our healing list.
Of course.
So I'll put that on as soon as we're done.
It would be nice if we had his name.
His name is Jared. I asked her.
Jared, we're sending healing to you. And, if you can you know, because this is recorded and we're going to also upload it or download it or whatever it is we're going to. It's definitely going to be on YouTube as well, but we shall leave it here as well. So just because I won't be live does not mean it won't be working, because every day my team and I send out healing. And so just connecting in with me and connecting in with my thoughts and just watching this, if it helps you for me to talk you through the process, it certainly is going to enforce and enable you to feel better about the healing process. Yeah.
Julia said that yes, it was beautiful.
Good.
That beautiful energy. I felt my head rocking. They just moved the comments up on me. I felt my head rocking with the energy.
Good.
And at first it made my eyes sore for some reason.
Well, healing can be very powerful, and it's, you know, it's attack all of our senses in a good way, So, so that's good. Thank you.
Sarah said my arm hairs stood up.
Oh, I think that's a good thing. Yeah.
And then Nettie's here, and Nettie said it made her feel like crying.
Yes, well, you know, healing is a very emotional thing, and when you send out energy to people, you know, I don't know what it is about me and my energy, but I've travelled all over the world, and I remember being in a hotel once and walking down the corridor, and two of the housemaids were walking towards us, and I was with a friend of mine. They were walking towards us, took one look at me, and one screamed and raced into a room on the side, which turned out to be the linen room, and the other one burst into tears and then raced into the linen room, and then they both came out and they were crying because they'd seen me. It must have something to do with my energy. I do create emotion in people, but you know, emotion is a release of tension. Emotion is a release of all that pent up anxiety that we often have. So, you know, crying's a good thing. It's a very good thing. And I often will put my arms around someone, or I'll touch someone and they'll burst into tears. It's just the effect. I'm a very weird person, but I don't mind when people cry, because what I do if people cry, I'm a great one. I like to just gather everyone to me, and I am not at all averse to just giving somebody a hug. It is within me to do it. And as we send out healing, that's what I'm giving to you all. I'm giving you this big, giant healing hug. So of course some of you will feel that emotion. Keep going, Michelle.
Lori said definitely Nettie. I was.
Good.
And that's about where we're at right now.
That's it?
That's where we're at right now.
All right then. All right, well, okay, so let me also talk a little bit about what we're planning to do with our, certainly with our online conferences. What?
I have one.
I've got a little girl sitting on the floor, not so little girl sitting on the floor. She's raising her hand like a school child. Go on, Michelle. Yeah.
Wendy commented that Pip is calming down. He got frantic and had to get down to the water. He swam during the healing. Thank you. He is now calm. We felt healing and the love, and I'm crying, very emotional.
Well, my arms are around you, Wendy, and certainly they're on that little puppy of yours. Please keep me apprised of how he's doing. Spend the next rest of the time that he has. Spend it joyfully. Spend it with him. It's very heartbreaking when we have to let our puppies go. It's like tearing a piece of our heart away from us. But know that, you know, he will be better off where he's going. And you know that all of you out there who know me know that I have had many visitations from my darling Nino, my Rosie. I've often seen Rosie sitting at my feet, just adorably looking up at me. We are going to have sessions at some point in the future specifically for animals. We're going to do these conferences. Unfortunately, we will have to charge something for the conferences, but we're going to be doing some online conferencing, and I'm going to be teaching people, first of all, how to give healing to their children. I'm going to be teaching people how to give healing to their animals. I'm going to be teaching people how to give healing to their loved ones and how to deal with hospital situations. We're going to be doing all that sort of thing as well. So keep posted. If you need to be on my mailing list, please email me, rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com, and that way we can keep you apprised of everything that is going to be going on. You have more comments, Michelle, I know.
Only Dean.
Oh, hi, Dean.
He said the show wouldn't come through. Then my browser went out, but finally here, and he's not sure what all the crying is about.
Well, I'm not telling you all the crying's about, Dean. It's too hard to go into that. You have to find, if you finally got it, you'll find it is recorded, and again we are going to put it onto YouTube as well, and we might put snippets of it also on Twitter and Instagram, because we know a lot of you out there do all of that stuff as well. This is all new to me, but we're going to be seeing if we can share snippets of the shows as we go along, but we're going to try and do this every week. So if you are on my mailing list, you will be notified. Everyone who is on my mailing list got notified today, yesterday as well, and so you get a heads up. If you're on the mailing list, you get a heads up, and you can be first in line to watch the shows. You can be first in line to sign up for any conferences that we might do. So and also if you are on the mailing list, and if you watch my YouTube channel, if you subscribe, again, subscribing gives you the ability to also know stuff before most other people do. Do we have any other comments, Michelle? So all right, let's go back. I said a weird thing, I know. It doesn't matter if you believe, because I have enough belief for everybody. When I was 3 years old or thereabouts, I could walk, but not, barely walk, but I belonged to a church, the Church of Christ. Now, when I say that I belonged, my mother used to send us, my youngest sister, who was 18 months younger than me, and my 2 older sisters, and she would send us all up to the church that was at the top of the street. That church was called the Church of Christ. It was a Baptist church. Now, this was in England, so, we didn't have all the singing and all the hallelujahs and all the fun that Baptist churches look like they're having here in the States. We were much more subdued. We were much quieter, but that was my church, and that was also my safety net. It was my home, much safer home, much calmer home, a much nicer home than the home that I grew up in. As I grew older, I became a Sunday school teacher when I was sort of like 13, 14 years old. I stood in the pulpit and gave sermons when I was 15 years old. I had a knowing and an understanding of Christ, perhaps beyond my years. I would talk to Christ on a regular daily basis, often asking for stuff, often moaning and complaining, often crying, often doing all those things that we do when we're teenagers. But my church was my home, and although I have, over the years, I have certainly questioned God, I have certainly yelled at him, or her, or it, whichever. I have certainly berated the way that the world works, and I've berated the unfairness of the world and all the rest of it. I've done all of those things, but I can honestly, hand on heart, say for whatever reason, I have never ever had one single doubt of the existence of God. And when I use the word God, just remember God is only dog spelled backwards anyway. Whatever you want to call him, it, or her, that universal power, that universal energy, that universal light, that universal force for light and force for goodness, whether you call that light and that universal energy God, or whether you call it something else entirely, doesn't really matter. But when I use it, I certainly have never had one single doubt of the existence of that force. I'm not quite sure why, really, but I haven't ever questioned that God force, or that entity, or that power, or whatever it is that is out there in the universe. So I have this innate belief and strength in that belief that has, helped me to combat the majority of the adversities that have been in my life. Many years ago in England, I had a friend who was a healer himself, and he brought a patient to my house for us all to give healing to. It was a young child. This little boy was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and the healing was being given in my living room. Now, at that time, this is how long we're going back, many, many years, at that time I certainly did not consider myself a healer. I certainly did not consider myself in any shape or form qualified to give healing. But certainly I could certainly sit there, as I asked you to do today. I could sit there, I could sort of place my hands palms upwards, and I could bring in that energy and bring in that healing force, and I could sit there and do my part to send energy to this little boy, while my my healer friend and his group were giving healing to this child. And I was sitting on the sofa, and so next to the sofa I had an old rocking chair, which I still have to this day, and in fact, it's in the other room. I should sit in that rocking chair one day to show you what I'm talking about. It's just an ordinary wooden rocking chair. Anyway, I was sitting on the sofa, my eyes were closed, I was saying my prayers, I was talking to God, I was asking Christ for his help and his guidance. And I know you're all going to think I'm crazy now, but because at the time I thought I was crazy too, but I can remember sort of having this feeling of something and opening my eyes, and standing next to the rocking chair I saw my Saviour. Now, I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't care whether you believe or whether you don't. It makes no difference to me, because I've already said I believe. I don't want to force my beliefs onto anyone. You don't have to believe in God or Christ or any of those things. Just, I'd like you to believe in yourself if you can. But, that's all that matters to me. But I opened my eyes and I saw him standing by the side of the rocking chair. And I sort of did a double take, because I thought, I'm imagining it. I was giving healing, I was thinking of him, so I did a double take, and I looked again, and there he was. And I sort of stared at him, and he smiled at me, and then he was gone. But that smile and that energy, that knowledge that he was there by my side, helping to give healing, has always been with me. Very often when I give healing, and I do stand behind my patients very often when they're sitting in the chair, and I do put my hands on their shoulders, as I have in a more, it's a more mental way, more visual way, I did with all of you today. I have often felt Christ's hands over mine as I've been giving healing. And it's a wonderful thing to feel that energy, and to feel that power, and to feel the love. And for the love of Christ, we would do pretty much anything, I think. I feel his love. So when I give healing, I'm giving healing not just with my love, but I'm giving healing with the love of Christ, with the love of God, with all that is good and bright and all that is beautiful. I send my healing to all of you. Do we have any other comments, Michelle?
Lori said, good orderly direction is a great acronym for God.
Oh, okay. Okay then. I never heard of that, but thank you. Anyone else? Anything else?
And Marion says hello from Holland.
Hello, Marion from Holland. I hope you enjoyed it today, and I hope you're going to be watching. So remember, even though if you would like to watch this, you can use this video again and again and again until next week. We're going to do something similar again, and we're going to be taking more questions. We're going to be having more comments, but please let this healing and let this healing session stay with you. Let my energy stay with you. Let it feed you. Let it nurture you. And let it give you the purity and the goodness of God. Breathe it in and know that healing really does work. So until I see you again next time, may God go with you all. Please email me. If you need healing for a specific thing, let me know. Let us know. We'll put you on our healing list. If you want to be on my mailing list, email me again, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. And in the meantime, I hope that you have enjoyed this. I'm going to say goodbye. I can see this thing going up and down. Do we have any more quick comments before we go? Yes, no, or?
I'm going to have a couple hello Rosemary's.
Okay.
And a couple hearts.
Oh, that's nice.
And some in another language.
All right. So please, 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 until we see you again, we are going to be doing our YouTube session tomorrow morning on my YouTube channel, Rosemary Altea, The Spirit World Sees All. You can connect with that Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have our Everything is Attitude show, which will be at 4 o'clock on Friday. And of course, my online students, be prepared for the class on Thursday night. If you want to know more about our online courses, if you want to know more about booking a consultation with me, if you want to know more about how you can specifically get healing, or if you want to know any more about our conferences that we're going to be doing, our online conferences that we're going to be doing, again, email me, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. Depending on what you want to know more about, put in the subject line, whether it's healing, conferences, whether it's consultations, whatever it is, put it in the subject line, and then we know exactly what to do with you and where to put you and how to deal with you quickly and as efficiently as we can. So thank you for joining me. I've had a blast. I've always loved to give healing anyway, and I'm sending out healing to all of you even as I speak. Don't think because we ended the session that I've stopped. My healing, my energy is flowing and overflowing towards you all. So please, please, please have a very blessed rest of the day and have a very blessed rest of the week. Thank you. God bless you all.